said this motor would fit. I think somebody lied to me. This is not made to fit this hole. This is tighter than the first girl I met when I was 15. That's all I can say. So literally the clearances that I have for my intercooler piping, I have to put my radiator in here. My radiator's been leaned and staggered, and I mean everything that I can do to fit this thing in place while still having radiator hoses hook up. But you can crawl up under here in a second. You can see that literally I have like just a couple pieces of cardboard of room up in here that is giving me clearance for my intercooler piping. So we're going to solid mount those pipes here and make it flex from the back side of this pipe to the engine so that there's no vibration issue, but we'll solid mount this pipe, and then as we come back out we'll flex again coming down here to the intercooler. Reason being is because that pipe is so close it will vibrate and we'll end up having a boost leak because it'll wear through for sure. So just trying to get to where we have these fixed and we've got good flow coming from the turbo down to this intercooler pipe, have that fixed mounted, and then continue routing down to our intercooler. We got this other pipe up here, and it's starting to get plumbed through also, and that is for the inlet side of the intake manifold. So we're getting pretty close. Getting pretty close. So yeah, basically I've just been working on this intercooler tube here. You can see up top. We're coming in right off the turbo. Went right into a 45, 90 degree Mitsubishi silicone coupler into a 45 off of this straight pipe. Welded the coupler together so we can make a longer pass. Comes right down here to this flex tube. This is the flex joint that we were talking about to make sure that we can still have dampening. Doesn't look like there's clearance down there, but like I got a finger that fits in there. So this right here is going to be the vibration coupler to dampen between the solid mounted 90 and then this tube that's here. And then from there, we're going to be plumbing the turbo with inch and 3/4 pipe that comes up. We'll go from 1 3/4 to a 2-inch reducer or expander, whatever you want to call it, and then from there into a 3-inch to 2-inch 90 degree. That's going to come into the very specific airflow meter area. So with your mass airflow sensor, it's really important to have the proper diameter and length of the tube. That is required, so it says do not cut, and the airflow direction. The reason why is because this airflow sensor knows the volumetrics for this piece of tube. And so if you change this piece of tube, your speed density, mass airflow corrections will be incorrect for the engine. But what's stupid, that a lot of people don't know, is that on a diesel, the mass airflow sensor is only used for EGR flow control. So EPA's got us again, exhaust gas recirculation. Not necessary, but yet necessary. Now it's looking like all the wiring is all loomed in, super nice. So,
oh yeah, that looks clean. And tonight it should crank over, huh?
Yep. SEMA quality, SEMA ready.
What up? So we're making the air box for the Delica. And what we had to do was incorporate a few different vents for the transcooler and other things, and also have the 2 intakes from the snorkel be in the top section that will be right up here. This isn't bent yet, it'll be like the other one. And then the intake will come in like that. And so the problem we had was that the seat is not easy to remove, and you have to access the air filter from underneath in there in order to change it. And so to make that easy, what we did was I made this box type cylinder thing, and it's 2 pieces. So this is the bottom. This goes here. Air filter, ring, index is on 2 aluminum dowels that are welded to this, that are welded to the pipe that goes into the intake filter, And then this goes up here. Snorkel tube, vents over here. And then a cap for it all. And that's all going to be airtight, so you can pretty much submerge the whole thing all the way up to the height of the snorkels. And your motor's going to keep running. And all your shit's going to be vented and not getting water in it. You might drown, but hey, all your parts will be chilling.
So it can go underwater. Yeah, so this is all the way sealed. So on the roof, it has the air intake, and so now you can, so it only gets air from the top. Oh yeah. What's happening right here?
See if it fits in the car now. Haven't tested it yet.
Why?
It no fit. Inch too wide.
Ooh.
We have to bend some sheet. Yep. 1 inch too wide. It'll go in from the top.
Pull the motor.
Star Wagon's going to the moon. If you ain't never seen no NASA shit, you ain't never seen no shit like this. That
Broken to
right
NASA
there
and
is a
stole
fully sealed airbox with all of your ARB airwalker vents and all of your front and rear differential vents, plus snorkel accessory venting and fresh air ventilation for your intake of the motor. Oh, capsule. You want to change filter? No problem. Look at the hood holes. You can see them. Rock hole. There it is. There we go.
Seal in there.
Yep, put a rubber seal in there and we'll be ready to go. A little power steering leak, but that's okay. I can deal with that. Are we ready? We're going to start it up. Click, clack. Just so you know, one of those hoses is backwards on the power steering rack, and that's what happens if you flip the lines.
Woo! That was crazy.
Let that go for a second, Sally, as soon as you touch them, just so everybody knows. If you happen to flip the power steering lines, that's exactly what happens.
Fuck yeah!
So we'll go ahead and switch that on the rack. Because I did not know what one was pressure or return, and now we know what one is pressure or return. But everything else runs great.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
It's like, oh shit.
Watch out, you don't know my name.
Yeah. Like,
What's my name? I smoke rocks.
that's the flick of the century. Shit. Damn.
We're going in.
Yeah. It's like, oh shit, we're flicking, bud.
What's going on, you guys? All right, so a quick recap. We are finally past some major hurdles. We got this thing fired up for the first time last night, as you saw. We just now finished all the wiring and got everything tucked up underneath here to where it looks fully factory, so there's no hanging down wires. Everything's been loomed. We've got all the Dakota digital control boxes that we were talking about tucked up underneath the backside of the dash. One thing that we didn't talk about is we removed the parking brake, and we actually went to an electronic parking brake by eStop. So we also integrated a parking brake push button control right here, and so that was a nice little setup. And if you guys didn't see before, the actual shifter that was going to be being used is for the brand new Chrysler SRT8. So the shifter is a Dodge product, looks really clean in here with the new box that we set up for the center console. So now that we got it running, we got a few last little things to check off. 1 or 2 small hoses to hook up for the ARB air lockers as I'm waiting on a couple fittings. I've got to wire up the fans. I'm waiting to hear back from Axis Industries still on how they want to have those wired for the AC system and fan control. As soon as I hear back from them, we'll really be able to get a full, running, driving test on this thing. And we have, luckily, really nice gravel area that's near us because it was a huge hydraulic mine back in the 1800s. So we have to go on a test drive. We got to make sure that all the systems function in this thing. So we're going to be going up to the gravel pits to go up there and see how this thing drives around in the dirt a little bit. Make sure everything that we did as far as the suspension, all the driveline angles still work, and of course all the operation for the motor, transmission, and transfer case functions. So we're getting pretty close to being wrapped up with this thing. We got maybe another day and a half or so to get everything finished up and get it to where it's ready for the road. And I think it's going to be one hell of a badass ride. This customer, he's ambitious, he's ready, he's going on the Rubicon. So as soon as we get delivered this to the customer, his first thing that he wants to go and try to tackle is the Rubicon right here in Northern California. If you haven't been out there and haven't been able to rock crawl on that particular terrain, some it can be super severe, and we'll see if he has to take a bypass or if he can mule right up the top of it. Hopefully this thing will make it through every challenge that we put towards it, as we built it pretty strong and made sure that all the systems function well together to where we don't have any overheating issues or any transmission issues, power steering issues, or anything like that. So we built it tough. I hope we can ride it tough and we can go out and truly use this vehicle as one badass overland.
Snap them. Bring back. Bah, get to work. Bah.
Motherfucker, get to work.
Be like, fuck you. Oh shit, that was funny.
We don't need the whip no more with that smack. I get the crack without the whip.
Hey, we had one of
I
our
don't even have
guys
to crack
that
the
was-
whip.
We had one guy that was turning on our 50,000 amp high-powered amplifier for the satellite transmitter.
Yeah.
And he'd never done it before, so he's down on his knees and we're like, you got to grab that big bar and pull it down to activate the circuit. And one of the guys was behind him with a big piece of plywood. And as he reached down to pull it, they dropped the plywood to the ground and went, BAM! And I swear, man, he's crapped his pants and came out of his shoes in the same shot. He was so...
So it's left now.
Final fitment, trying to get this seat to fit. A couple small things we had to update for the lower section right here. And so when we updated that, it raised the back of the seat up just a little bit. So we're just trying to make the final mounts for that. Get last few pieces tucked in. I just got the AC lines all plumbed. So
it looks pretty nice. It's factory looking.
Yep. So I mean, basically all that stock. Come over to this side and you can open this all up like factory. prop. So, and it doesn't look like that stuff fits, but it's all got more than a piece of paper thickness under there. It's just a piece of paper, you know, that's what you get. But yeah, package super tight. It's been a challenge. Yeah. Most definitely, but we're working on the last few things, trying to get the drive lines in. They messed up one of the drive lines, so we got to send that back down there and have that re-looked at because they used a shallow angle drive line, and in the rear it's a super steep angle. So we've got to change the front yoke on that, and that means they got to shorten some other stuff. So whatever, should call them back and have that fixed. And yeah, try to get the seat mounted up. Try to get these last couple things done on.
Pretty much by Friday. I mean, he'll be able to drive it. Yeah, but I mean, we'll do probably a shakedown Thursday, huh?
Hey, I'm going down.
You're so far up my ass. I figured you'd want to be all up in my ass. Come here. Are you trying to be in my ass? Are you trying to be in my ass? You like that shit? I'm twerking on it.
That's the most action that he's ever gotten.
God damn, I can feel your forearm just fucking beating me to death. Yes, Marty. Yes. Fuck yeah, Marty. Woo! Fucking Marty.
I'm going by the driveline place tomorrow. You need me to drop something off?
Possibly, yeah.
Okay. I'm going by there tomorrow and Thursday.
That was the best twerk you've ever seen.
Yeah.
I twerk on these because I'm from fucking Twerkonda.
Yeah, twerking big. Anyway, I'm going by the driveline place Thursday and Friday.
All right.
I'll be right in that neighborhood, so.
Fucking Twerkonda. Action. Cummins R2.8.
Cummins on your mom.
Oh my gosh. All I can tell you is that this thing has been coming together. It's taken a long time. I say a long time. We've pretty much beasted this thing out, and we're on day 22 of the total project time. Total invested hours as of today, I believe, is about 241 hours. Original theorized install time was approximately 80 hours, but that was initially talking to the customer only over the phone for the last year or so. Once we started this project and we spoke with the customer, we saw that the quality that he was looking for and the components that he was looking to install in this vehicle were definitely going to be of a very high status. And in doing that, we had to package things that were just slightly to say tight. Everything that's in here is, if it didn't go where it's at right now, it was not going to go in here. So when we mounted this motor, I'm going to say that you know, people say luck is when opportunity and hard work meet, and I will say that we had the opportune placement of this engine. We definitely have a lot of hard work involved in putting this here, and the engine was honestly the only place that it could have gone after we started packaging most of these components in here, between the oil filters, the fuel filter, the you know, everything from a pressure bottle to the power steering system to air conditioning, the built aluminum radiator, all the intercooler piping, the air intake system that we designed to be 100% submergible with this snorkel system. So everything from his ARB air lockers to his onboard air system ventilation to transfer case to you name it that needs to be ventilated on this system, it goes directly through this fully sealed canister that then exits the vehicle and goes out of his snorkel system. So he can literally drive it underwater if he wants. We have done an extreme amount of, you know, I'm going to say mechanic engineering, because a lot of these components, normally if they were fitted by your regular engineer, you would never be able to access them again in your life. And we've made it to where the vehicle's serviceable. So that's the most important thing, is that once it's in here, it's like a factory installation, but that factory installation also has serviceability. So the air filter is serviceable from the bottom of the vehicle. both the fuel filter and the oil filter are both also accessed and serviceable from the bottom of the vehicle. Transfer case, all of the transmission fluids, all those things, all serviceable from the bottom of the vehicle. The onboard air system has a drain petcock, bottom of the vehicle. Coolant system, drain petcock, bottom of the vehicle. Again, making to where everything is super serviceable and easy to access. So what we're doing right now is just buttoning up the wiring. We again got this motor set up from Axis Industries. They did all the pre-tuning for it. They set up all of the pre-wired harness that has some pinouts that I'll show up here, basically some of the stuff that we've had to go through to finalize the systems. This particular harness they custom made for the customer to work directly with Dakota Digital dash systems. So that was nice because the sensors and things like that Dakota Digital uses, they pre-plumbed and had it set up with the correct sensor connectors and things like that. So we didn't have to integrate some of that. They already had it pre-plumbed up into our main dash harnesses up here. So then what we did is we went ahead and integrated the VHX control box that has all of our signals for our fuel sending unit, oil sending unit, water temp sensor, speedo outputs, our TAC, our warning indicators for our glow plug, or excuse me, in this particular case, it's going to be not glow plug, grid heater, and all of those particular things. Engine, check engine light, all of your brake lights, things of that nature. So then we have another module, which is the GPS speedo module. The GPS speedo module made it to where on the transmission we didn't have to worry about an output speed sensor, so we're using the Dakota Digital GPS speedo to work with the speedometer. So we'll have to calibrate that, get that set up, as well as calibrate the fuel sending unit. But we're working on the last couple wires right now. Just wanted to show you guys what we've got set up in the engine bay. Everything's super tight and super clean, and we are finally down to being able to turn the key on and for the first time see this dash come alive and see if all of the wires that I cut out of all these systems left behind, our turn signals, our brake lights, our headlights, and all those things. So this is the first time that we've done a key on since doing this motor swap. So the first test is to go key on and see what illuminates on my dash and see if we got headlights, see if we got turn signals, see if we got door lights, all those type of things. So here we go. We're gonna start with, plug that little switch back in there, and we will go key on. Throttle body, you can hear automatically cycle and sync. That means our PCM is operating, so that came up immediately. I heard the PCM relays and cycle relays over here immediately turn on. I can see on this side that our CAN bus control module that integrates the TCM control systems for this engine is on and functioning with the proper light. And up on our dash, I can see that I'm showing voltage. I'm showing that I have a check engine light on because I'm just key on and I haven't actually cranked the vehicle yet. I can turn my headlights on, auto dimming headlights, that turns on immediately. My headlights turn on. I can go to high beam, bam, high beam indicator, so that's working properly. A good way to test all four corners of your turn signals is just to turn your hazard on. I can see that on my dash, both hazards are functioning. And then if we step outside of the vehicle, what we can do is double check that we have both headlights and all four corners of our turn signals. You can see that with our headlights on, all of our dash illumination is still functioning. And behind you, you can see that the door lights are working. So basically we've cut out and reintegrated all these systems into this 1993 Mitsubishi Delica to make it a full factory installation into this car or van. And it has not been an easy task, but it has definitely been a hell of an experience, and we've enjoyed it here at the shop. So yeah, I'm gonna walk around real quick, double check these tail lights, double check these turn signals and headlights, and after that, get back to wiring up the last couple things, and hopefully, just like this, in just a second when I prime the fuel system, you'll hear it run, but this is a test for the crank. Oh, turns the motor over. So pretty soon, rather than it just going crank, crank for a second, you should be hearing it running. And of course, sounding super awesome with an Aero Performance exhaust that's fully custom TIG welded, again, right here at Custom F and Customs. Thanks for coming around. We'll see you next time. Peace out.